Hi, how are you? How are you? I received a very powerful question sent to me in my inbox, but it's also something that I have actually discussed over and over again as I am coaching patients, as I am talking to my own clients. And I decided, I'm gonna come on here and share the pathway to freeing yourself from past trauma. This is, if you can take this in, if you can hear what I'm about to share with you, I think it will open doors for your life. The person who reached out to me wanted to remain anonymous, but they basically asked me, they said, that they grew up in a family that was very violent. They were physically abused, and they watched dysfunctional relationships. And they feel like this has carried over in their relationships today, and they cannot seem to keep a relationship for more than a few months, and it's just affecting their lives. And they think about this all the time. They think about the trauma. It comes up in various ways. They don't trust people. They want to know how can they release themselves from past trauma. Before I answer the question, I want to tell you my own story, how this was a reality for me as well. Those of you who have worked with me, or perhaps maybe those of you who know me, know that I had my son, who's now 10, during my intern year, that very first year of residency training. If you know any doctor, they'll tell you this is like the hell years of training. It's rough, it's hard, you don't sleep, you're not eating. I added a pregnancy and a baby the very first year, with all the troubles and the issues that comes with as being the mother, the woman in the parenting dynamic. It was tough. And what this had created for me was a dynamic where from the get-go, I was doubted whether or not I could actually complete this residency, was being questioned from the moment I walked in through those doors, and people realized, hey, like she's like 33 weeks pregnant. And that created an environment where, intern year was already hard, but now I went from people praising me and telling me how much great I was going to do in the world, and how smart I was, how skilled I was, how caring I was, to now people looking at me like, she's not going to make it. This isn't going to work. She's not good enough. It was just a lot of a psychological trauma that was really hard to go through. And this was on top of all of the stuff interns already get. And even though as the years went on, this was a 4-year program, by the time I was in kind of my mid-second year, third year, fourth year, I blossomed into an amazing resident and doctor and had a lot of support from really good, solid attending mentors. I graduated my residency and went into my attending years as, now just a solo physician with this trauma. And it kept showing up as fear. It kept showing up as almost doubting myself in situations where I knew exactly what to do. I mean, whether it was like certain medical emergencies or I'm operating, I knew exactly how to do what I was doing. I knew I was good at it, but the doubt would come up and it would actually affect my performance. And it became obvious that I was still harboring a lot of anger, bitterness, resentment. I had created these groups in my mind of like the good people and the bad people. It wasn't healthy, and it was interfering, most importantly, with how I showed up as a doctor. I had to take this trauma and I had to do something that I'm going to teach you how to do with your trauma, and you can apply this to anything. It's important for you to realize that this is a world of energy. Although I'm a physical being, you're physical, you can touch your phone and everything around you. Science has proven that at the core makeup of everything we are is energy. That an atom is 99% energy, and the rest is matter. There's a reason why you can walk into a room and kind of feel what has been going on in there, even if you weren't present. There's a reason why someone can stare at you and you're not looking at them, and then you feel like someone's looking at you. There's a reason why you can look at your child, and even though they can't speak yet, you feel what they need. This is a world of energy. And in this world of energy, something very interesting, something very, very powerful happens. And if you can get this, this will change your life. Everything that happens around you is a match to your energy. What does this mean? It means that you are going to be a match to a lesson or a match to parts of who you are. I'm going to say this again. Everything that happens around you is going to be a match to a lesson that you need or to a part of what you are. So in another, I coach patients all the time, or people, my clients, on how to create then the things that happen around you. But right now, what I want you to understand is that this thing that happened to you that is now paralyzing you today, the way to free yourself from it is to do two things. The first is you're going to ask yourself, what was the lesson that event needed to express through me? What did I get out of that? What was the gift? For me, it was not depending on external validation for my worth, which is what I had been doing up until that moment I walked into the doors of my residency program. All my self-worth laid on someone else's praise and appreciation. And I learned through my residency to release the need for external validation, to find who I was, my passion, my destiny, and to not allow anyone's positive or negative reaction to it deter it. It is one of the greatest gifts that I have received. When I asked myself, what was the gift? And what parts of me was actually playing out in this whole dynamic, I was able to change the way I told the story. You see, the pain and the fact that you're paralyzed comes from the fact that you believe that you were a victim. And yes, something was done to you. But I want you to change the victim story into one where you were given a gift. And so I know today that I wouldn't have had it any other way. I went through the best 4 years of my life doing my residency at Johns Hopkins. I not only received the gift of the skills, the knowledge, to become the best OBGYN that I could have become, but I was also given a gift that I can't learn in a classroom, which was the gift of releasing myself from relying on external validation for my self-worth. It's priceless. So when I think of what was once a trauma, that brought up fear, paralyzed me, I now feel so free and light and happy. I no longer doubt myself in those same moments where, things would have triggered me. It's gone. And you can apply this to any kind of trauma. I don't want you to sit there and say, well, mine was worse. I was sexually abused. Or this writer who reached out to me, I was physically abused. Emotional, sexual, physical abuse, all the ways in which we can be victimized will cause the same reaction. If you hold on to them as a victim, you will have fear, and then it will paralyze you by either affecting your performance, affecting your relationships, affecting your day-to-day happiness. They all manifest in the same way today. So if you can just ask yourself, what was the gift in that? What was the gift? And then change the way that you are telling your story. You will find relief and transformation in today's life. So for you who has reached out and you want to know, how do you release yourself from the trauma of physical abuse going up that has now seeped into your relationships? If, let's say, the gift was to be able to see what love isn't, what love does not look like. Or perhaps you saw a specific person in your family or type of person that was constantly abused or discriminated against for whatever reason. They weren't smart enough, or they weren't pretty enough, or they were too dark, or whatever it is that tends to happen these days. Did it maybe emerge or give birth to something in you that allows you to now help those people find their self-worth? The list is endless. I could go on and on and on. And, if we were to get on a call together, which definitely feel free to reach out and get on my calendar if you want to do that, we can tease out what the gift was, because the gifts are always there. The gifts are always there. And in fact, sometimes we've already picked them up and we've already acknowledged them. But because we continue to tell the story in a way that is traumatic and as a victim, it then seeps into our today life and paralyzes us. So if you have something from your past that has been keeping you from moving forward, I want you to watch this video a few times, and I want you to perform this exercise for yourself. It will change your life. Take care. Sending you always love and light. And always feel free to reach out to me with any of your problems. Anything that could get you winning is going to help me win. All right. Have a great week.